people, we have a problem. Data suggests that big business has been influencing the way we learn as well as what we learn. According to Samuel Bowles and Herbert Gentis, educational expansion prompted by the working class call for universal education was influenced to change the entire school system to teach primarily working class skills. It sounds okay, because there are prerequisites of skills needed to get hired, right? Well, the problem with teaching primarily working class skills to students is that you're inevitably creating a growing class of wage laborers. Or as Bowles and Gentis puts it, facilitating the growth of a reserve army of unemployed or marginally employed workers. How did this happen? Bowles and Gentis addressed the problem as being part of the multitude of views in the 19th century over how to develop an educational system which would develop the free person or the free citizen. In their article, they observe how there is little to support the view that the educational system took its shape from the demands of the common people. Additionally, they go on to say that working people have managed to get more education only when their need coincided with those of economic elites. What does this mean? This means that as a working class person, your needs were not met unless it met the demands of an elitist class. Do you see the power dynamics of a capitalist society at work here? They call it a process of capital accumulation, which they believe to be a key force driving the transformation and growth of the U.S. economy. They split it into two aspects. The first is the expansion of the forces of production with a consequent rapid and sustained increase in the output of goods and services per worker. I.e., if a worker is more educated about their job, they can benefit the company more. The second is an equally dramatic transformation of the social relations of production. Bowles and Gentis say that the sphere of capitalist control over production is widened by reducing people to the status of wage labor. There are those power dynamics again. And their control is further deepened through the gradual extension and refinement of the hierarchical division of labor in the enterprise. In other words, as you move through tiers in your career, feeling as though you've risen to a new level of influence, your promotion itself is further strengthening those in power above you, making it sure you never reach the amount of influences or resources that they have control of. It becomes evident that free enterprise has been oppressing the labor industry with its near invulnerability from the state and has caused such a dramatic shift in power within the economy that the boundaries of class stratification become nearly impossible to overcome. Which means, if you're poor, then you're probably going to stay poor. And the only way out is to progress through the same hierarchy that dictates your access to resources so that you'll never have as much as those who already have as much as you. Sounds to me like, though it may seem as if you have access to more resources, you're still in the same class you were before, only redefined. What can we do about this? Since capitalist power has its roots in education, and because of such they have been able to influence many facets of our lives, it only makes sense to reconstruct our educational system so that they have no influence there. But we've always advocated for educational reform, right? Yes, but for reasons other than eliminating capitalist influence therein. I know that there are those who understand the power dynamics at work and are advocating against it, but how successful have they been? Is it enough? And it tends to be people of only middle upper class status who do advocate, while the middle lower poverty class is attempting to better their economic situation through a process in which they are unaware is only making things nationally worse. They aren't educated otherwise, only told that to live better, they must use this system. But little do they know, though it is this system that causes the problem, that this system can be changed, and they have the power to do that. I propose an awareness initiative. We need massive amounts of people to start advocating for educational reform towards eliminating the capitalist influence therein. We must educate people about the power dynamics in place, as well as how to influence that system. We may need a global initiative. There must be a call for mass community awareness, and people of the lower class must be educated on how interacting with one another can give them the influence necessary to start making big changes to policy reform, and that goes well beyond educational reform. Isn't that how a democratic system is supposed to work? Isn't the power supposed to be in the hands of the people? Children need to be educated on how such large spheres of influence are able to monopolize on government policy, while also being aware of the dire need for equality in our society.
Created using Powtoon.